Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. There have been a lot of rumours swirling around today regarding Treyarch. I'm not going to comment on them specifically in this video because they're rumours and a lot of the rumours that are being circulated aren't quite right. So I want to give it a little bit of breathing room, just a little bit, let the facts roll in a little bit more, and then I'll be commenting on it, okay? So hold your horses, folks. Today we're going to be talking about something that we don't need to speculate about. It's not a rumor, it's pretty concrete because it comes from Activision themselves, and it's actually a new Activision blog post which tells us something about the ending of the Aether story, Forever, that I think you guys are probably going to want to hear. So the article begins and says, Into the Aether, it's a Q&A with Treyarch's Black Ops 4 Zombies writing team. Nuketown, Ray Guns, Easter eggs. With the launch of the latest Zombies experience, they have questions. Thankfully, Craig Houston and the Zombies team at Treyarch had some, sometimes cryptic, answers. And then we get into the content of the article itself. AGB, the Activision Games blog, are the one asking the questions, and ZT, the Zombies team, are the ones giving the answers. They ask, as a team with some of Treyarch's most veteran writers, how have you felt the Zombies franchise has grown from being a secret game mode in World at War to today? Did you ever imagine back then that you and the team would be deep into hiding Easter eggs and building these worlds? And the team responds and says, we don't think, I can imagine Craig saying this, we don't think any of us could have imagined what it would turn into. We remember those first baby steps, the meetings about how to introduce a narrative element with the intro video. Even though Zombies has grown so much that it now has these huge, epic cinematic intros, we honestly thought and stressed more about the narked intro than anyone will ever know. That's not actually something I've heard before, so that's a cool start to the article. They go on. What has Nuketown meant to the Treyarch Zombies team ever since its debut in multiplayer in the original Black Ops? The team responds and says, we've always loved Nuketown's ability to have high engagement and chaos, pun probably not intended, in such a small place. It's still a favorite MP map, of course, and the Zombies version was fun because we were able to start building our narrative on top of such an iconic map. AGB says, following that question, was that the reason why Nuketown became the setting of Alpha Omega, or does its in-game significance also play a role into it coming back? They say the real reason to go back to Nuketown in Alpha Omega is that it brings together several strands of the story. Ultimus, Primus, Broken Arrow, and in turn, Victis? Which is very interesting because Victis are only threaded through the map in the lightest possible way with Martin and Rustman, and so it's interesting to see them get mentioned here as a specific point that Craig and the team are pointing out. The next question is, are there any tie-ins to Alpha Omega for the original Zombies Nuketown from Black Ops 2? The team says, well, there are some significant cameos from characters that our fans may be familiar with. Yep, we've seen those. We've heard from some of these characters before, but others have never really had a chance to speak. We'll just leave it at that for now. So they're being pretty cryptic. We have already seen that stuff. We've seen stuff with Martin. We've got new stuff with Purnell and with Peter, which has been really cool. So that sort of crypticness is something that we've actually kind of already covered. The next question, though, is since this is Alpha Omega, a beginning and an end, can we expect anything in this map to be from World at War or the older Black Ops titles that will give players the nostalgic feeling from their favorite maps over the years? And the Zombies team says this is a bit of a nostalgia hit for so many reasons. Besides the iconic location and weapons like the Ray Gun Mark II, the biggest one of all for many of us is the Ultimus crew from Black Ops 1 and World at War returning. And AGB then says a question that is worded slightly weirdly, but are any classic wonder weapons like the microwave gun or the Ray Gun Mark II that may make an appearance in this new experience? Or is there something new on the horizon? Then the response is, oh, I think I just spoiled that in my last answer. The Ray Gun Mark II is indeed back with some twists, 4 times the fun. Again, that's stuff that we've already covered. And then we get to the juicy part of the questions. They say, for the operation itself, what other plans and features are there that will tie into Alpha Omega? The team says Zombies gets to spread across the whole game, which we already know, outside of the restrictions of story canon, so it's really a chance to just have some fun with areas that we wouldn't normally infect. After all, having fun is the most important thing, even for the undead. And then the question to end all questions, is this truly the end of this story? If so, how hard was it to put a bow on this epic legend and say goodbye to our favorite characters? Hold on to your seats, everyone. Honestly, we're still processing it. We're in the middle of writing some major stuff for our beloved characters, and it's emotional. With the multiverse established, there will always be other stories to imagine. But in terms of Primus, Ultimus, and Victis, this is the end of the line. Bless them. Kiss. And then finally, we're looking forward to some of the next operation, what it holds. We're still wondering, are there Easter eggs that have yet to be discovered within the Aether story, even going as far back as World at War and the original Black Ops? And the answer is yes. So there are undiscovered Easter eggs in World at War. There are undiscovered Easter eggs in Black Ops. There are things to worry about there. But the big story for today is that, yes, this is the end of the line for Primus, it's the end of the line for Ultimus, and it's the end of the line for Victus. But the key part of the sentence that needs to be shouted from the rooftops is that with the multiverse established, there will always be other stories to imagine. Hello? What does that sound like? To me, that sounds like Aether is not going to necessarily conclude in this game. Aether could have new stories imagined in its multiverse, with the multiverse established. Maybe with other characters that aren't a part of Primus or Ultimus or Victus. Maybe Peter McCain is going to end up being a playable character in Zombies 2020. Who knows? There are new stories to imagine. And there are stories in Zombies that currently have been kind of sewn as new little threads that are dangling in the wind right now that have been a bit weird to have included if the story is ending because their arcs would be cut so short. But they make so much more sense now that Craig is saying, hey, yes, so Primus, Ultimus, yeah, they're done. And I think that it's probably right that their arc is done as well. It's probably right that we let those characters rest. But there's more that the Aether story has for us. There is more that can happen in this world. And if this was the categorical end of Aether, if this was the closing of the book for good, I am 100% convinced that Craig's answer here would have been, we're still processing it, we're in the middle of writing some major stuff, it's emotional, the multiverse has been going for a long time, and it's time to close the book, and with that comes the end of Primus, Ultimus, and Victus. This is the end of the line permanently. Something like that. But no, the fact that he gives us a little bit of doubt, he sows the seed, that to me says Aether is maybe not ending. That's the best news in the world. Or at least I think that's the best news in the world. I think that that is just great. And I know that other people are going to be like, well, Aether's been going for a long time and I'm tired of it now and I just want it to end. But I mean, as much as Chaos seemed like it had some cool elements in it, and as much as they did some cool things with Ancient Evil and things like that, I'm always going to be a bigger fan of Aether, personally, just because I've been with Aether since the beginning. I love it. I love the Aether story. I love all of the elements in there, and I love Craig's writing for it. And I'm excited that this might mean that next year, when Treyarch releases Black Ops 5, which is crazy to say, like really crazy to say, wow, that's actually so nuts, oh my god. When Treyarch releases Black Ops 5, whether it's a reboot of zombie stuff, as some people have been speculating, or whether it's just new zombies, or whether it's a new mode, there is a chance that that content, wherever it may be, whatever it ends up as, will be embedded within the Aether multiverse. I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you're a fan of the Aether story like me and want to learn a little bit more about some of our characters, such as Ted or Dempsey or Rectifern or Monty, I'll have some links on screen right now and in the description for other videos you can click on. But otherwise, yeah, this is just great news. Okay, cheers guys. I'll be talking to you very soon about all the rumors that have been swirling around today. But I mean, when it comes to people's jobs, I think it deserves a bit more respect than just kind of baselessly saying stuff. So I want to go slow for this one. I've made that decision. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm MrRoflWaffles. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.